Hello students, myself Snehal Sagre, and today's session we are going to see out a general layout for PHEV, that is plug-in hybrid cars. So let's begin. At the end of this video, you will be able to identify and list out the types of vehicles. You'll able to illustrate about and introduce in brief about PHEV. Even you will be able to describe and differentiate between the all categories of vehicle and why there is a need of change for adapting up the new type of vehicles. If we could look out the general scenario, you could be able to find out what are the key things that we are having out to be described about. So, it is that the decarbonizing transport is proving to be one of today's major challenges for all the global automotive industry due to many factors such as increase in greenhouse gas and particulate emissions affecting not only the climate but also the humans. The increase in pollution, rapid oil depletion, issues with the energy security and dependency from foreign sources and population growth is seen out. On the other hand, for more than a century, our society has been dependent upon oil and major breakthroughs in low and ultra low carbon technologies, and vehicles are urgently required up. It's seen, according to the EPA, cars contribute about 75% of the Earth's total carbon monoxide pollutants. Also, according to Environmental Defense Fund, it is estimating that cars cause about one third of total air pollution that produces smoke and roughly 27 of greenhouse gas emissions. So you can note out how it's dangerous to have and live with this type of surrounding. The internal combustion engine appears to be on its last lap. If we could see out more than 9 countries and a dozen of cities who are included out in the name of states have announced that a tagline named to a ban in the last few years. Let us now see India's role, that is India's first NDC, which is nationally determined contribution for Paris Agreement. Nationally determined contributions, that is NDC, are at the heart of Paris Agreement, and the achievement of these long-term goals we can see out. NDCs embodies out the efforts of each of the country to reduce national emissions and adapt to the impacts of climatic change. So here are a few points where we can glance at which are under the safe and smart sustainable green transportation network. Faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles could be undertaken, which are under the National Electric Mobility Mission Plan 2020, which is NMP, or else we can spell out NEMMP. The second forthcoming point, which could be seen under the Smart and Sustainable Green Transportation Network, is undertaken through the 11th point, that is Vehicle Fuel Efficiency Program, which is undertaken under the Bharat State 6 across the country in the near future. Let's now see what is FAME Phase 2. FAME Phase 2 is an policy whose objective is to have the promotion of electric and hybrid vehicle in the country by offering the upfront incentive on the purchase of electric vehicles, and by establishing the charging infrastructure. So, if we could see out some of the highlights of cabinet decisions which were undertaken at 28 February 2019, this scheme is for boosting up the electric cars. So its phase 2 has been approved, under which we can highlight out some of the points. Encouraging the faster adoption, in which you can offer the upfront of incentive on the purchase of electric vehicles. The second highlight we can find out is to support 10 lakhs of two-wheelers, 5 lakhs of three-wheelers, and 55,000 of four-wheelers and 7,000 buses. About 2,700 charging stations will be established in the grid of 3 km by 3 km. The outlay of rupees 10,000 crores over 3 years have been proposed up. Here you could find out the key infrastructure is showing out the graph for the representation of use of the vehicles, and according to that what could be the efficiency for contribution. So the first forthcoming part is having out efficiency, which is just the 17%, which is seen about for the conventional vehicle. If you could draw out and switch over the vehicle for the micro hybrid electric vehicle, which is having an example of BMW 1ER, it has the contribution to be increased to about 20%. When we switch over for the medium and mild electric vehicle, which is like Citroen C4 HDI, which is contributing about the forthcoming increase in by 2 to 3%. Coming to full HEV, which is like Toyota Prius and Urus. So in this you can find out there is an increase in efficiency while contributing towards the green source. Completely getting out for the PHEV like Volvo C30 concept, you can find out we are having the greater increase in the efficiency. And the last forthcoming one, which is the most adapted required, that is electric vehicle, you can find out there is a drastic change in the scenario. So it's having out efficiency that is about 50%. So you can just imagine out that changing out our role from your conventional vehicles to the adaptive topology, which could result up the complete usage of electric vehicle, would give us the efficiency which is near about 50%. Now let us see one by one its role and its working. In short, so if you could look out the internal combustion engine, which is known to be ICE, you could find out some of the points that could be listed as: how is the working? What are the parameters for which we can judge out the performance of the IC? So when we look over an ICE, it is having out an heat engine where the combustion of fuel occurs with an oxidizer, which is usually considered to be air in a combustion chamber. The second thing what we can see out, the expansion of high temperature and high pressure gases produced by the mini explosion applies to be direct force to the turbine blades, or else we can say which is moving out through the rotors, or as in case with the almost all cars to the pistons. Then we can find out the rotating pistons drive the car's crankshaft, which in turns the vehicles and provides out the motion. But the other side of the thing, apart from working, if we could see the gas or the diesel fuel when it is burned, the combusted material is remaining is the toxic gas, which pollutes the environment. Let us now see the second one, which is hybrid electric vehicle, which is also called to be HEV. If we compare up the ICE and the hybrid, what is seen? We can find out the role of both. An hybrid electric vehicle is a type of hybrid vehicle, an electric vehicle that combines a conventional internal combustion engine, which is IC, for the propulsion system with an electric propulsion system, which is hybrid vehicle drivetrain. The presence of this electric powertrain is intended to achieve better fuel economy and performance. We can take the best example of HEV's category to be followed up like previously seen in the diagram, Toyota Prius hybrid. So if you could see, they are available in the types. We can classify them as micro, mild and full hybrid. And examples could be seen other than Prius are Ford Mondeo hybrid, etc. Let us now have and study about the micro hybrid electric vehicles. Micro hybrid electric vehicles have their lowest contribution to the electric power. In an micro hybrid, we have just the small contribution of the electric motor, which is used for the applications which could be stated like stop and start actions of an engine and small scale of regenerative braking. But it is seen the stop and start functions or the functionality can help in turning off the engine automatically, also see out the stop light and hence reduce the fuel consumption as well. But if there is a case of electric drivetrain, however, it is seen that it cannot be used to supply additional torque to the wheels when it is required. The kind of examples we can find out under the micro hybrid electric vehicles category is Chevrolet Malibu and I E-Loop Mazda 6 Virgin. Next is the mild type of hybrid EV. The functionalities of the mild hybrid EV has similar to that of micro hybrid. So we can say it has all the functionalities of an micro hybrid. In addition to this, it has the features that allow to improvement in the drawbacks of fossil fuel vehicles by improving the efficiency levels. If we could see the mode of operation, the ICE consumes more fuel and emits more pollutants when the coasting, braking or idling states are considered. In those situations, we can have the electric motor is going to assist in order to increase the efficiency level by helping the engine operation. So, in mild type of hybrid electric vehicles, the electric drive motor can assist the engine when extra power is needed, but it is incapable of propelling the vehicle alone. Some sort of examples which we can list out in mild hybrid are Gluck, Lac Rossi, E-Assist. The third category we can find out is full hybrid. In this, if you could find, the fuel hybrid car has the characteristics that of electric motor, which is providing at least 40% of maximum range power as an additional torque. These types of cars include large motor and a battery bank. This features out and gives an opportunity to reduce the size of combustion engine, especially in a parallel or series parallel configuration. This configuration, if we could look over, involves adding the complexity to the powertrain structure in order to provide movement from both motor and engine interchangeably. So which is going to increase the cost and the weight of the vehicle As if we could look over, this has the complexity to the powertrain structure. Examples of this type of car are Ford Fusion Hybrid and Honda's Accord Hybrid. So now let us have the comparison of all what we have seen just now. So HEB's classification, if we could see, the first category is stated about the micro, second is about the mild, and third is about the full. If batteries consideration are taken, the mild and micro are seen to have the small capacity, whereas the full hybrid seems to have the larger capacity of the battery. So the micro has very small capacity, which is less than we can say 1 kWh, which bears about the low voltage typically about 12 to 48 volt. In mild hybrid, it has the capacity about less than 2 kWh, which is sized up for the medium voltage battery, which is typically around 48 to 200 volt. Whereas in full hybrid, you can list out as the larger capacity because it has the range of 2 to 10 kWh, which bears about a range of high voltage battery, which is typically around 200 to 400 volt. Nextly, if we could have the consideration of engine, that is, in start and stop condition of the wireless idling, micro hybrid has its condition, whereas mild also has that condition, as well as full has that condition of working. In regenerative braking, if we could see, in micro, it has just a small contribution or near about to no contribution for the regenerative braking. In mild, you can find there is a mild contribution in regenerative braking, and in full, it contributes to the fullest for regenerative braking. Electric drive, or we can say, what about electric torque assistant? So, if we could review at, no additional torque is given to the wheels if it is required, but in case of mild, additional torque to the wheels which is incapable of propelling the vehicle alone. In full, all electric drive are capable of propelling vehicle alone. When it comes to battery charging from the grid, micro is not possible to attain that condition, whereas mild is also seen in same condition, but full hybrid is possible to come and have a plug-in hybrid electric car. If we could see what happens with the improvement in the fuel economy if the percentage format is been seen to consideration, for micro hybrid it has 2 to 4% of involvement, in mild it has 10 to 20% of involvement, and in hybrid it is seen greater than 25%. If motor's power is taken out in kilowatt, it is seen it is less than 5 for micro, it is from 5 to 25 for mild, and 20 to 50 between range for full hybrid. So this in all you can summarize about and have a look over. In short, what the micro's role is, what mild has and the full has. The next category of vehicle is plug-in hybrid cars, PHEV. A plug-in hybrid electric car or a vehicle which is termed to be PHEV, or in short we can say plug-in hybrid, uses electric motor and gas engine to operate. Its electric motor uses batteries that can be charged by plugging into an electric power source, we can say through an EV charger or through the wall socket. The mode of operation, if we are seeing out for a PHEV, it is seen the gas powered motor can work together with the electric motor or separately on its own to power the powertrain. Extensive studies have revealed that powertrains which are using gas engine, or we can say plus an electric motor, are having sometimes two or three electric motors mentioned, creates better fuel efficiency, and due to which less fuel is burned during the PHEV's operation, reducing the greenhouse gas output. So this has the contribution for the green, we can say. Example of this category of vehicle is Kia Niro plug-in hybrid and BMW 225 XE. So here is an image for plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So you can see out how many components are present out which play a key role for the operation of hybrid electric vehicle. So the plug-in has battery, onboard charger, transmission, electric generator, electric traction motor, charge port, traction battery pack, fuel tank, fuel filler, exhaust system, internal combustion engine, power electronics controller, DC to DC converter, thermal system. So in short, you must be knowing out little bit about each of the component. But let us highlight what is the function exactly. So if we could see the battery which is placed out auxiliarily, it is just an electric drive vehicle. So the auxiliary battery provides electricity to start the car before the traction battery is engaged, and it also powers up vehicle accessories. If we could see the function of an charge port, the charge port allows the vehicle to connect to an external power supply in order to charge the traction battery pack. Whereas if we could see out the function of DC to DC converter, this device converts high voltage DC power from the traction battery pack to the lower voltage DC power needed to run the vehicle accessories and recharge the auxiliary battery. Electric generator. Electric generator generates out electricity from the rotating wheels while braking operation is being performed. Transferring that energy back to the traction battery pack is being taken up into role by this unit. Some vehicles use motor generators that perform both drive and regenerative functions. If we could look over the electric traction motor, it uses power from the traction battery pack which is placed near about to it. This motor drives the vehicle wheels. Some vehicles use the motor generators that perform both driving as well as regenerative functions. If we could see, we have the exhaust system placed around. The exhaust system channels has the outlet for the exhaust gases from the engine out through the tailpipe, which can be seen little bit. A three-way catalyst is designed to reduce the engine out emissions within the exhaust system. Fuel filler. A nozzle is just a put out from a fuel dispenser which is attached to the receptacle on the vehicle to fill the tank. Fuel tank, if you could see, we are having about a fuel tank which is for gasoline purpose. This tank stores gasoline on board until it's needed by the engine. Internal combustion engine, if you could see, it is spark ignited which is placed around at the frontier layout. In this configuration, fuel is ejected into either the intake manifold or the combustion chamber, where it is combined with the air or we can say air or fuel mixture, is ignited by the spark from the spark plug. Onboard charger. The role of it is near about that the internal combustion engine. Onboard charger takes the incoming AC electricity supply, which is supplied by the charge port. You can see the charge port over here, and converts it to the DC power for charging the traction battery, which is placed near about to it. So you can find out how the connection has been brought up. It also communicates with the charging equipment and monitors the battery characteristics such as voltage, current, temperature, and the state of charge while charging the pack. Power electronics controller. This unit manages the flow of electrical energy which is delivered by the traction battery. Controlling the speed of electric traction motor, it is going to have the control over the torque which is being produced. The thermal system which is being set up, or we can say cooling, provided. This system maintains a proper operating temperature range of the engine, electric motor, or we can say power electronics unit which is being present around along with all the other components. Traction battery pack. If we could see, traction battery pack is being placed beside the fuel tank. It stores electricity for use by the electric traction motor, which is just beneath to it. A transmission unit we can see along is been having in between the electric generator and onboard charger. So this transmission just transfers about the mechanical power from the engine and or else we can say to the electric traction motor to drive the wheels. So in this way you can find out how the role of each of the component is keyly enhancing the performance of hybrid electric vehicle. Benefits and the challenges for PHEV. So in this, if you could see out, less petroleum use could be highlighted. How PHEVs are expected to use about 40 to 80% less petroleum than the conventional vehicle because electricity is produced primarily from the domestic resources and PHEVs reduce petroleum dependence. On the next side, we can see less greenhouse gases, which can be called to be GHG emissions, are being resulted out as the PHEVs are expected to emit less GHG emissions than the conventional vehicle, but the amount generated is partly dependent on the fuel used at the power plant that generate electricity that is used to recharge the car's battery. PHEV will lead to less GHG emissions if its electricity comes from nuclear or we can say hydroelectric plants rather than coal-fired power plants. Electricity which is powered by renewable energy sources such as solar or wind is optimal. Higher vehicle cost and lower fuel cost could be concluded. PHEVs will likely cost around, if it is taken in dollars, it is from 1000 to 7000 USDs. More than comparable non-plug-in hybrids, fueling a PHEV will cost around less because the cost of electricity is much lower than the cost of gasoline per mile. But fuel saving will not entirely offset the increased vehicle cost as many government are providing out incentives to the consumer for qualifying and going for PHEVs. Charging takes time when it is considered for a PHEV's role. Charging the battery typically takes several hours, but a quick charge, which will give you 80% of capacity, may take a little as 30 minutes. However, PHEVs can be driven without being plugged in. They can be fueled solely with a gasoline but will not achieve maximum range or fuel economy without charging. Measuring the fuel economy. As seen, this will be a challenge because PHEV run on both electricity and a liquid fuel, and it is unclear what percent of time each will be using during the average driver's daily travel. So these are the general layout for the benefits or the challenges what could be seen for a PHEV. Battery powered electric vehicle, which could be called pure electric or a BEV. A pure electric or a battery powered electric vehicle, which is said to be BEV in short, gets all its power from its batteries or electric motors. The power system is divided in two parts, we can say. The energy storage system, that is a battery pack or else batteries, and the electric motor that provides the driving force. It contains no internal combustion engine because, as said, it is pure electric. The mode of operation, if seen as it has electric motor and which uses a set of batteries that are recharged by plugging into an electric power source. So here again the power source could be through the wall socket or EV charger. Today, technically complexity of pure electric vehicles is being seen out in battery materials. Battery management and electric motors or else we can say other onboard equipments is far beyond our imagination. That is why we can say out the prices of pure electric vehicles are oftenly not cheaper. Even if it is seen, it is because that the current battery life of pure electric vehicle is not strong. The current drawbacks of the pure electric vehicles could be seen obviously as it has many models that are cruising range of only 1 to 200 kilometers, and the charging time, if you could see, is relatively long. So they are only suitable for the urban travel and not suitable for long distance journeys. An example for BEVs is Chevrolet Bolt. Fuel cell electric vehicle. The last category of electric vehicle, a fuel cell vehicle is a vehicle that uses electricity which is generated by an onboard fuel device, or we can say fuel cell device which acts as in power. So we call onboard fuel cell device as a power source for fuel cell electric vehicle. A fuel cell uses onboard fuel cell device which is of high purity hydrogen, or else we can say high hydrogen reform gas obtained by reforming hydrogen containing fuel. Compared to other pure electric vehicle, the power for the fuel cell vehicle comes from the fuel cell. So the key to fuel cell vehicles is fuel cell, which is hydrogen. If we could look over the mode of operation of fuel cell electric vehicle, the working principle of fuel cell vehicle is that when hydrogen is used as a fuel, the fuel cell mounted on the vehicle undergoes An oxidation reduction chemical reaction with oxygen in the atmosphere to generate electrical energy, which drives the electric motor to work. An electric motor drives the mechanical transmission structure which is inside the vehicle, driving the front axial or the rear axial or other mechanical structure of the vehicle to work, which drives up electric vehicle forward. That could be listed out as the mode of working through fuel cell electric vehicle. Even these vehicles are stated to be true pollution free vehicle, as there are endless sources which are used up named to be hydrogen and oxygen, so no pollution is been resulted and it can be called to be a true pollution free vehicle. Examples of this are Honda FXC Clarity and Hyundai's Nexo. So now let us quickly have the comparison between the all types of vehicle. The first category we have seen here was HEV category, that was hybrid electric vehicle. Then we have seen PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, BEV, which was pure electric, and lastly we have concluded on FCV, that is fuel cell electric vehicle. So if we could consider the battery size, around it is 1 to 2 kWh in HEV, 5 to 10 kWh in plug-in, and 15 to 100 kWh in BEV. Whereas in FCV you can find about it is same as like of HEV, that is 1 to 2 kWh. If we could compare driving, which is nearly about an empty battery status. So in HEV, it has been possible to skip up the battery's operation. In PHEV, it is wholly possible, but in case of BEV, it is not possible because it is purely electric vehicle dependent on batteries. In FCV, it is also possible. If we consider driving range with the full tank, it is around taking 400 to 700 kilometers on fossil fuel in HEV category. In PHEV, it is around 30 to 100 kilometer battery electric driving range or 400 to 700 kilometers on fossil fuel. In BEV, we can find it is around 100 to 400 kilometer with battery energy driving range. Whereas in FCV it is finded 400 to 700 km on hydrogen fuel. Charge and fuel refilling. If we consider HEV, battery charging is only during the driving condition. Refilling of the fuel could be taken from the fuel stations immediately. In case of PHEV, battery charging from the grid and during the driving, refilling the fuel tank from the fuel stations is also possible. But in case of BEV, the battery charging is only done from the electricity grid. Whereas refilling the hydrogen fuel tank from the fuel stations is possible from the FCV. If we look over the fuel economy and the efficiency, higher fuel economy, which is compared to similar ICE vehicles, is seen in HEV. In PHEV, higher fuel economies is seen as compared to ICE engine vehicles, as it is similar to HEVs for electrically driven from the battery charge from the grid. In BEV, higher fuel economy than similar to HEV and ICVs could be seen, As comparable fuel economy in PHEVs for electric driving from the battery charge with respect to grid could be done. In FCVs, higher fuel economy than the similar ICVs could be done. In case of emission, if we could look over HEV, it is less or we can say near about to similar as compared to IC vehicle. PHEV is having emission level which is less or similar to HEV. In BEV, it is having zero tailpipe emission, which is very important to note. In FCV, it has zero harmful emission as water is the byproduct. As seen from the comparison chart as well, we can have the graph for electrification, whereas compared to CO2 reduction, when it is compared out from the working class of hybrid electric vehicles to plug-in and electric vehicle, we can see the general scenario of the range of utilization of electric power, but with the use in electric power, we have a drastic CO2 reduction which could be seen. So this is an outline which is taken out from the European drive cycle where we could see the implementation of all vehicles is been done there. So we can highlight out the CO2 reduction as compared to the electrification. So in case of micro hybrid, we are utilizing suppose 12 volt, it is resulting out with the less than 5 kilowatt of battery, giving about 3 to 4% of CO2 reduction. Whereas compared to mild hybrid, which is having 5 to 13 kilowatt, resulting out to 13 to 21% with the usage of 48 volt. In full hybrid, it is having the reduction to 20 to 30% with 20 to 40 kilowatt. In plug-in hybrid, it could be seen with the reduction in ratio which has increased to 50 to 75%. And lastly, with the EVs, it is 100% CO2 reduction. So you can find out how it is possible to have the reduction in CO2.